All right, hello students. Today we're moving on with lesson 12, the relationship between absolute value and order. So you won't see these numbers here on your page. These are kind of the numbers we're going to use here in just a moment. So I'll just put them up here just to kind of make it easier for us. So it says opening exercise, record your integer values in order from least to greatest in the space below. So you're going to record these integer values in order from least to greatest in this area. So go ahead and take a moment, pause the video, and go ahead and try to put them in order from least to greatest. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you gave it a try, and hopefully the first number you came up with was -12. And then after that, hopefully you came up with -9 and then -5. And you continue to go -2, -1, 0, and hopefully 2, 5, 7, and then 8. So if you took these numbers, hopefully you ordered them. This is the order in which you came up with. Now we're going to use these numbers. We're going to use this order to kind of take care of the next few activities. So let's go ahead and look what we have going on. Example 1 says comparing order of integers and the order of absolute values. So we're going to kind of talk about how the order of integers relate to the order of their absolute value. So it says write an inequality statement relating to the order integers in the opening exercise. Below each integer, write the absolute values. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take all these numbers here, and we're going to kind of write this as an inequality. Well, I'm going to kind of save some time. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste them over here because the order is not going to change. Just simply kind of how they're stated will change. So if you need to, pause the video, go ahead and copy these down. The only thing you don't want to copy is the commas between. You can get rid of the commas. And when you come back, we'll kind of talk about how they should be ordered as inequalities. Actually, you don't need it. You can kind of write a minute as I go through them. So if we're ordering these from least to these are already in order from least to greatest, so we write this as an inequality. We just simply need to put a bunch of less than statements because -12 is less than -9, which of course is less than -5, which of course is less than -2. And you can see we can just continue going. These are in order from least to greatest, so we should have a bunch of less than symbols. And if you need to, of course, remember, pause the video and go ahead and continue to fill them in. But this is what the inequality would look like. You would have a bunch of less than symbols because it's going from least to greatest. Well, the next step says below each of them, go ahead and write down their inequality, write down their absolute value. So let's go ahead and take a moment, let's go ahead and write a pen and simply write their absolute value. Well, of course, with all of these, their absolute value are just simply the numbers in the positive form with the exception of 0. So the absolute value of -12 is +12. Oops, I guess go ahead. Let's see if I can make this a little bit larger. I believe that's at 24. There it is. Okay. Oops, there it is. 12. The absolute value of 9 is -9 should be as 9. The absolute value of -5 is 5, and then 2, and then 1. And of course, this is the only non-zero answer is 0. A non-positive answer, excuse me, is 0. The absolute value of 2 is 2. 5 is 5, 7 is 7, and 8 is 8. So if we look at this, remember the absolute value of all the negatives turn positive, and all the positives remain positive. The only thing that's not positive is the 0 here. All right, so there we go. We kind of just did exactly what they told us to do. We wrote an inequality statement of those integers, and then we took their absolute values below. The next, it says circle the absolute values that are increasing numerical order and their corresponding integers. So we got to look at the absolute values. Which ones are increasing numerically? Well, this is from 12 to 9, 9 to 5, 5 to 2. This is decreasing. These are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then after 0, now they become increasing. They start to go up in value. So let's go ahead and circle. It says, what does it say? It says circle the absolute values and their corresponding, their increasing order and their corresponding integers. So here are the absolute values that are increasing in order, starting with 0. And these are their corresponding integers. Well, what do you notice? It says describe the circle values. So what do we notice? Well, hopefully we notice that the only ones that are circled are positive numbers, or the positive integers, and 0. So the circled integers are all positive with the exception of 0. So that's what kind of we should notice. We should notice about the values. None of the negative integers were circled. So the circled integers, right? Because we're talking about integers, yeah. The circled integers are all positive with the exception of 0. So that's kind of what we should see or notice about all the integers. And also, all the positive numbers have the same absolute value. So you probably want to add that in there too. If you look at all these are exactly the same. All the circled integers have the same absolute value. Sorry. All right. So there you go. So that's kind of what we should notice about the circled information. All right. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to stop right there. We're going to stop this video right there. And we're going to go ahead and kind of move on to the second video, kind of talking about kind of the other side.